Typhoon, the Shockmaster, the B-A-double-D, Big Steel Man coming at you live from on the road. And I've got some exciting news tonight. All I can tell you is fasten your seatbelts. You're in for the ride of your life. Got 2 mystery guests coming into the green room. Along versus Bubba Brewer. The bottom line is, and a special outcall to all the wrestling fans. There's 2 Hall of Famers. But are they wrestlers? Are they basketball players? Football players? Baseball players? Everybody's wondering, but nobody knows for sure. Tune in. See if you can find out. See if you can guess. And meanwhile, be absolutely excited beyond belief. See ya.
And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Hey, you know Mitch?
Oh yeah, I think I just heard it.
Like a blow in or 2 and then gets beat up again and gets away. And
with a grand total of 64 points, Jason London is the top vote getter.
But you had a lot of dissension in the Army itself.
There's so many all-pro people that were playing in that game.
John Layfield will move on to round 2 with
$75 on the bar makes it look easy.
The Gulf of Tonkin did not happen. For all intents and purposes, any historian will tell you that's what started the war. It would never happen.
Debating the topic is the enemy, not the people that's doing it. Every athlete, they would love this show. How do we get all of the academics, the athletes to watch this?
How do you like them apples?
Records that will be difficult to be broken.
There's something about that loneness that is extremely robust.
Pete Babcock has moved on to round number 2.
For me to make the comeback story of coming back from being paralyzed, that's a comeback.
Officially in round number 2 of the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament is Marcus Buff Bagwell.
Picked up by Ray Berry alone to Noel here to the bone to the basket. Mr. McMahon again, field in front of him. He wants the bundle. Pat McKinnon. That is McKinnon.
Money on it so they can come out and make a ton of money, which obviously they did.
The NCAA then convened a meeting to discuss harsher penalties.
He can beat you with those martial arts moves from
University. The suit. Everybody's turned into thing and they've all gotten burnt. What was that? What was that? I don't know.
There's that dun, 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 dun. It seems that reporters are rushing to get the story first.
Very quickly, Jerry Briscoe in. He's got him rolled up, fans. 2.
He's a smooth talker, but very intelligent, very bright.
Well, Mama Gehrig noticed something really, really drastic. She also noticed this at the bar.
Gerald Briscoe and Fred Ottman have moved on to round number 2.
My client is innocent. Hey, man! Oh, God! It is so good to see you!
Superman, those things are not really great advantages anymore.
I think the biggest problem with Spider-Man is he's just a kid. That's the biggest problem.
Even Tobolowsky barely ekes out a win against Todd Bridges.
Front of somebody and win them over with your attitude, with your enthusiasm.
And a lot of people don't realize what pro wrestlers go through.
Eddie Johnson and Jumping Jim Brunzell have moved on and advanced to round 2.
So in front of the castle.
I am Ted of San Dimas.
Network setup and the technology setup by Apple.
Like big business, they would have been the ones to control it. And that's really what made it special. And
Tommy Davidson is officially in the second round of the Grand Debate Tournament. Diane Franklin has also moved on.
Their goal as well as your goal, so as long as that happens.
Place. I'm a person who is all about young people. They're tomorrow's doctors.
And we can't be stifled by manipulated fear.
Mr. Allen defeats Mr. Lenny Wilkins.
I propose that you stop letting your father run your life and you be true to yourself and not give up on somebody you know has value.
Bigger school with the most money, the most prestige.
Still. Jeremy London has a rebuttal.
It's been proven that that's not true. It was not the right thing to say, but he said it.
Jeremy London has moved on to round number 2.
Maybe you like me.
Mom, it's okay. Get upstairs.
Forgiveness is something that you really have to come to accept.
And she wrote this amazing book, The Feminine Mystique.
Steve Wallace moves on to round number 2. Eric Dickerson with 40 points also moves on to round number 2.
Some people think she has 2.
To the outside!
They all knew Bohemian Rhapsody.
I bought everything I could about all about Eve.
Robert Wall advances to round number 2 of the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament.
Hadn't seen it. Oh, here he comes. So stop worrying. Open up.
Dan Loria and Mariel Hemingway both deservingly move on to round number 2.
Just a minute. Yeah, that's right. He relates to music. Glad to see you guys are staying focused. Emergency meeting at Parker Central in 5.
And he was very loyal to this country and very supportive.
Mr. DiBiase, you're moving on to round 2.
I was down to zero, still an unsung hero waiting.
The joke slam.
that I would be Grace Slick at Woodstock. Wouldn't you need somebody to love?
It just was a movie that the songs meant so much in it.
And I think this is the perfect opportunity that Keith realized he wasn't really deserving of that victory.
Mick Foley will be the first to advance in this group to round number 2. Sergeant Slaughter moves on to the second round of the...
I didn't quite get around to it yet.
Tell us what?
Reports, the eyewitness report. Well, I researched it, but there is not.
And I chose Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. It is so filled with joy and
support underdogs, whether it's people or underdog movies.
Megan with 42 points will move on to round 2 of the celebrity tournament. Mick Garris with 39 points will also move to round 2 of the celebrity tournament. And guys, remember...
Get from me. I'm stronger than they think. They can push me to the brink again. I'm never fessing, possessing the tools that it takes to.
How's he got it? Huh? I think not, Isaac. You are the one who's lost favor with them.
But my favorite of all is Jamal Wilkes. When I get personal, that's my guy.
And I can look at the sadness now, and a lot of it I can laugh at.
And moving on to round number 2 is Christopher Reed with 30. Courtney Gaines moves on to round number 2 as well.
Like a true defender, I will not surrender. Why should I lie down for them? Change, I just wanna know why. Change, I just wanna know why. There's no easy way out.
We take it one step at a time.
Yeah, I'm trying to win this entire thing. I don't like losing.
Well, just like in sports, I'm sure Jim would say the same thing. You don't play for individual awards. You play.
Well, yeah, I'd love to be able to say I beat all these guys in the debate.
Absolutely. It's about the pride and the pride.
It's about the pride, but the prize is pretty darn good, too.
That's the pride. It's always about the pride.
I've come here to chew gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum, brother.
At the end of the day, it really is about winning.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'm here to win. It's in my DNA.
And I'm waiting to kick 31 people's asses tonight.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm here to do my best to try to win.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, everybody has some pride.
Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. I plan on winning tonight.
I am. Just in here doing mental push-ups.
Winning is really important. What's even greater is inspiring. And bro, that's what you do with this show.
Well, you're in it to win it, or why be in it at all, right?
Yeah, I'm about winning.
I think I'd be more interested in the prize. I'm always up for a trip. And a little cold cash doesn't hurt either.
It's about the prize.
I'm taking no prisoners, Avi. I am here to go for the gusto.
Why not? Why are you keeping score if you don't want to win it?
Though I'm not super competitive, I would like to win this. So there you go.
We all want to win, right?
I'm here to win. I've always been here to win.
I'll do the best I can and leave it up to the voters.
Of course, I'd love to win.
I'm always in it to win it, Avi.
I better get my game on here because I'm definitely in it to win it.
I've already won because I know whether I win the debate or the fan vote tonight, I'm sure I'm going to be enlightened by our other guests.
Fantastic.
It's the sister of Mary Hartman. I can't think of the character's name. Then after that,
I think she played Kathy Shumway, maybe?
Yeah, she was Kathy Shumway. Very good. That's very impressive. You got a good workshop you're doing. This is what's going on in your workshop. Wow.
I had provided reasonable protection for the creature.
Last name Matthews, first name Dakin. He's welcome to the green.
A lot of us came into this world on November 7th, 1940, and a few things collapsed.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that absolutely incredible?
Sweep the leg.
But you're sheer 9 or 10. You're probably 9.5.
Oh. Guys and gals and pals, just a sneak peek of what you've seen so far in this tournament. Madonna once sang about high temperatures. Well, I don't need Madonna to give me fever. After that intro, I'm hot, fired up, and ready for the show. Walt Whitman suggested that we move forward beyond our shadows. Thus, we will truly grow. Yours truly concurs. What's done here on this show is what I've dubbed edutainment. We entertain and we educate. I don't do controversy. I do conversation. So let's all stimulate. There's a reason to these rhymes, and the reason is the opposite of treason or crowd pleasing. For me, it's always in season to remind you all, the engine that makes this thing go, that you are what we believe in. Sure, the numbers are skyrocketing high. Our consistency is as powerful as Joe Pesci depicting an old wise guy. We figure it out like Jeff Goldblum the scientist in The Fly. We're as colorful as Grateful Dead crowd showing off their tie-dye. So let's keep doing what we do, guys and gals. Let's keep doing what we do. And let's keep realizing that our motto isn't a Sherlock Holmes mystery. A legendary director of Superman fame, my mentor, told me years ago, write your own history. Teaching history and screenwriting for the very best was one thing. Sharing your history is an honor. That mentor lives in my heart daily. His name is Richard Donner. So let's sit back and realize what we've witnessed in this tournament, oh so grand. Where as of tonight, 21 Hall of Famers, 21 Hollywood Award winners and nominees own this land as we discover and rediscover our humanity through open dialogue and expand. So be prepared to give a hand to competitors that are about to work their sweat gland, and all the while, our attention they command. With $13,000 and a 5-day and 5-night trip to Greece on the line, one can't forget about the pride and the prize. So with that, let's all rise and reprise our roles as educational voyeurs that never chastise or agonize, but rather revel in our beautiful reality without needing a disguise. Here on this network, where we are allergic to lies, let's bring in the first competitor who happens to be a Pittsburgh sports buff. Whether it's film, sports, or pop culture, he definitely knows his stuff. His energy is something to behold as he leads with passion. He conveys his points with gusto and clarity and speaks in quite the articulate fashion. Will his charisma and knowledge resonate with you, the viewer? Let's find out now as I bring in competitor number one. First name Bubba, last name Brewer. Bubba Brewer, welcome to the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament.
Wow, thank you so much for that intro. That was awesome, Mr. Klein. Woo!
Well, you know what, my friend? You are awesome as well. The two competitors in the back, they're awesome. You're here to win this entire thing, Bubba.
Yep, yes, I am. This is the Rocky Balboa story, America. I have never debated before in my entire life, and tonight I have something to prove.
Bubba Brewer, guys, we'll go to the back. We'll bring him in momentarily. As we continue with our introductions, our debate is about to start right now, guys and gals. So trust me when I tell you, if you don't have anything next to you, a beverage, if you don't have a delight, we'll be both. We will entertain you. You'll forget about all of your that gnaw, that hunger that's gnawing in your stomach. So let's bring in, guys and gals, the next competitor, who's a man that has a legendary work ethic that propelled him to very great heights. He grew up in Robbinsdale, Minnesota, and his mother worked tirelessly on endless days and nights. She went to every game he had, bought him the best skates and hockey sticks as he excelled in every sport. In the Mickey Mantle League, he had a .744 batting average. Can you imagine the scouting report? He played varsity hockey in high school and was recruited by Herb Brooks to play for the Gophers, but he took a fork in the road. He signed with Northern Iowa and played football, all the while his ambition never slowed. He was on a powerlifting team in Fargo, North Dakota, all the while his ambition never slowed. He was on a powerlifting team, guys and gals, and soon after that worked at Grandma B's. It was a rough establishment, so a smart patron knew never to mess around since 4 pro wrestling icons were there to lend their expertise. Both Road Warriors, Rick Rude and our next guest, worked there, and one day Eddie Sharkey pulled them all aside. He trained them in the sport and art form of pro wrestling, and soon they'd be in for quite the ride. As a powerlifter, training at Jim Younger's, this man was already quite athletic and strong. Seeing how he treats his fans speaks to me like a powerful and sentimental song. He's a member of many halls of fame and has a ton of range, winning multiple championships as Crusher Khrushchev, and soon another iconic character that became iconic. I'm speaking of Demolition Smash. As the Reaper Man and Blacktop Bully, he continued to help many promotions make that good old-fashioned cash. Even those that aren't fans vividly recall his impact on the sport. Go ask any old Tom, Dick, or Harry. They and all of you are about to welcome a kind, humble man. Last name Darsow, first name Barry. Barry Darsow, welcome to the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, my friend.
Holy cow, what an intro that was. I couldn't have said it better than myself. Unbelievable. Thank you. Glad to be here.
You deserve every bit of it. My friend, man, what a day you've had, and you do so much for so many people. But when we've been talking as well, all these luminaries, 21 Hall of Famers, 21 Oscar Award winners, Golden Globe, it doesn't matter. You're here to win this whole thing.
You're darn right. I hate losing. I want to go to Greece. I've never been there, and I'm taking my wife.
I love it. I love that attitude, guys. Barry Darsow is in the house, a legend of a man, a legend of a storyteller, a legend of an athlete. I will put you backstage momentarily, sir, and bring in our third competitor.
Thank you.
Guys and gals, our third competitor right now, again, much like Barry, needs no introduction, but he'll receive one nonetheless. He's a class personified, and he grew up in Brownsville, PA. He's an absolute professional, as many are privy to. There is no one that I have to sway. He became interested in teaching due to his high school football and track coach, and was an amazing two-sport athlete. He played football and ran track in West Virginia University, which in of itself is an incredible feat. After graduation, he taught special education in Ohio and coached football and track for 5 years. He got into wrestling by mistake, thanks in large part to one of his peers. He was visiting his parents, and his next-door neighbor used to be a pro boxer who was appointed one of the 3 athletic commissions in PA. His journey was about to take a sudden turn. As a result, he was invited to the Pittsburgh Civic Center, a place that he would visit many times over and return. 6 months later, he was in the ring as he was about to traverse, explore, and become one of the very best as he took on task after task. When Don Jardine left, George Scott soon approached him about wearing a mask. The masked superstar was born, but prior to this, he was working as Bolo Mongol as part of the IWA. He wrestled all over the world as his talent, consistency, and passion was on full display. Andre the Giant was godfather to his 2 daughters, but he himself is a giant of a man. His experience as a special education teacher for juvenile offenders in Georgia already makes me a fan. As a former history teacher, I respect this multi-time Hall of Famer and champion that many remember as Axe. These rhymes are about to end, so sit back and enjoy the climax. As this incredible match is about to begin, feel the pump and welcome the thrill as I welcome a positive, honest human being. Last name Eadie, first name Bill. Bill, welcome to the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. What an introduction, I'll tell you. It's amazing. Thank you.
You deserve every bit of it for who you are and what you've done outside of the ring as well. Bill, I'll ask the same question I asked Barry and Bubba. We see all the competition, but at the end of the day, it's the pride, it's the prize, 13 grand trip for 2 to Greece. Is it also about the pride of winning the whole thing?
It's about the pride, and I think anybody gets into any type of competition, you don't want to come in second. You want to be first.
I love that. And with that, guys and gals, Bill Eadie is here. Let's welcome Bill. All the comments, guys. We get 7-figure views because of you, the engine that makes this thing go. And as you know, 60-plus shows on thenewnetwork.com. Again, filled with luminaries from sports, TV, film. That's what happens on the new network, guys. We don't celebrate someone just because of their name, their fame. We celebrate what they stand for. Quality human beings. That's what we do here. We keep it clean, edutainment, and guys and gals, no controversy. But let's have some good old-fashioned fun as I bring in Mr. Darsow and bring in Mr. Brewer for this competition that's about to kick off. Welcome, gentlemen. There we go.
Oh, my.
How you doing, guys?
Good. You know what? I wrestled Mr. Bill Eadie many years ago.
No.
And your back's still not bothering you, right?
Oh, it was a great match, sir. But yeah, this is just uncanny. Oh, this is so funny.
Incredible, guys. So, yes, of course, guys, we have Bubba Brewer from Pittsburgh, Mr. Eadie from Pittsburgh, Mr. Darsow from Minnesota. And, guys, very quickly, because I'm going to zip the old lip and let these gentlemen take it away because this is their debate. But a couple of rules here, guys. Again, anybody can rebut anybody at any given point in time. When a person is presenting their case, if let's say Bill is making a case, Barry or Bubba, all they have to do is raise the index finger. I come in, and they can rebut at any time they'd like for as long as they'd like. You can go as long as you want as well. There's no running clock. At the end, after all 3 topics have been discussed, the top 2 vote getters will move on to round 2 in a few months. So, guys and gals, Bill, Bubba, and Barry, are you ready to go, my friends?
Yes.
Ready to go.
I'm ready.
Let's do this, guys. Bubba will go first for this first topic, guys. First topic is most motivational sports coaches of all time. And there's nothing great, guys and gals. Nothing great is ever achieved without tremendous leadership. That leadership can take multiple forms in sports, whether focused on strategy, work ethic, pure enthusiasm, or level-headedness. The profound works of great leaders have led teams to historic achievements. The best coaches might have different styles, but they're all winners who are summed up best in their own words. Their words can grab players at the core and allow them to achieve their best. Coaching is an underrated aspect of any professional sport. While the big-name players, for the most part, get most of the credit, and coaches tend to absorb much of the unwarranted blame, they still remain important figureheads vital to their team's overall success. The best coaches in sports, however, impacted the game both on and off the sidelines, off their respective sports, and some could be considered philosophers, others leaders. But there's one thing they all had in common, a winner's mentality. So guys, with that, Bubba Brewer will make a case for Herb Brooks. Excuse me, I am sorry about that. Bubba Brewer will make a case for Chuck Noll as the most motivational sports coach of all time. When he is finished, Mr. Darsow will make a case for Herb Brooks as the most motivational sports coach of all time. And then when Barry Darsow concludes, Mr. Billy Eadie will make a case for Nick Saban as the most motivational sports coach of all time. Mr. Brewer, are you ready to go?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, be ready for rebuttals in case Barry or Bill have any rebuttals.
Okay.
Bubba, in a 3, in a 2, in a U.
Well, the reason why I picked Mr. Chuck Noll, because I live in Western Pennsylvania, and before that time, the Pittsburgh Steelers were never, ever winners of anything. It was the Pirates. It was never, ever the Steelers. So, Mr. Chuck Noll, he went to Cleveland. He lived in Cleveland. He played for the Cleveland Browns, and he got into coaching. Now, Mr. Noll was a man with few words, but he was very intelligent enough to help his players, and that's how he motivated his players to get where they needed to be. Now, when he was working with Sid Gillum with the Chargers, the Hall of Famer Ernie Ladd said he was the best coach that he ever had due to his work. So after that, he went to work with Don Shula, and it was, we all know, Super Bowl III was before my time a little bit, but they lost, and they were upset against the New York Jets. Now, the next day, he was signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1969. Now, he came in, 37 years of not winning anything. His first game ever, he won, and he lost 13 straight. Now, that would break anybody. But Chuck Noll built it on the draft, and he drafted Mean Joe Green, and he drafted great players in every years to build that team. Okay, so what he did was he had the defense and he had the offense. Because if the defense would slack, the offense would pick them up. And if the offense would slack, the defense would pick them up. Because he always said to his football players, you are just playing football briefly. You will always go on to your next stage in life and have your career doing something else. Football is just a brief thing, so you have to be doing the best at what you're at. Now, he was butting heads with Terry Bradshaw. Okay, Bradshaw was a rebel, but he knew, and he coached Terry, and he wanted Terry to be the best, and that's why they have that friction that they had for many, many years. But also, too, in the 70s, he coached 4 Super Bowls. You know, it was a dark time in Western Pennsylvania. You know, I was very young, but my dad, worked as an iron worker. He was getting laid off, and stuff like that. So people at that time, that's all they had was the Steelers and the Pirates, the city of champions at that time in the 70s. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers with Chuck Noll, Chuck took this team and won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. And he did it through the draft. He also did it through looking through smaller schools. He worked with the African-American schools down south and got the talent, the scouts, to go find people. And he built that team of champions based on what he drafted. Okay, so, and then he always maintained, he maintained a level head. He was always, he wouldn't hardly ever talk to the press. He was very shy. He was a Renaissance man. Myron Cope called him the Emperor, and the Emperor in his realm was the championships. But also, guys, and everybody, in the 80s was a bleak time. All the aging Pro Bowl Hall of Famers were retiring. The Pittsburgh Steelers did not have much at all in the 80s. When I was growing up, it was very hard being a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. And his greatest accomplishment, he only won Coach of the Year in 1989. He didn't have any stars on that team. But he coached these guys, and his perseverance to lead them to the playoffs got him Gary Anderson overtime victory against the hated rivals Jerry Glanville. He was never about showboating. He was always about leading from example on the field. You know, they lost, a fumble with Tim Worley, and he was a game away from the championship. But that is his greatest accomplishment in his winning an NFL title as a coach. And he just did it, and he wanted guys that retired to get on with their life. So he inspired a lot. He inspired his players. He inspired a community. He inspired Western Pennsylvania. Because honestly, without Chuck Noll being the architect of the Pittsburgh Steelers and motivating them players to build championship reigns, I don't know where Western Pennsylvania would be sports-wise, and I wouldn't know where the Pittsburgh Steelers would be without the great coach of Chuck Noll.
Bubba Brewer, guys, made his case. He made his case, and that's still, again, guys, we still have 2 more topics after this particular topic. You're not voting just yet. We got our judges in the back as well. 2 wildcard voters in the comment section. It's actually 3. Ian Hernandez, Randy Pritchard, and if I'm not mistaken, I have a 3rd wildcard voter as well, and that would be Johnny McKinney. Okay, guys, Mr. Darsow will make a case for Herb Brooks as the most motivational sports coach of all time. Good sir, are you ready to go?
All set to go.
In a 3, in a 2, in a U.
Okay, growing up, I grew up in Robbinsdale, Minnesota. And in Minnesota, it was the hockey capital of the world. Eveleth, Minnesota is where the Hall of Fame was at. And every single person, when they're growing up, they're on hockey skates. And I played hockey for about 12, 13 years. And growing up, when I was like in 8th, 9th grade, I watched Herb Brooks coach the Minnesota Gophers. The most incredible coach ever. He ended up winning 175 games with the Gophers, 3 different titles. When I was in 10th grade in high school, he called me. He was recruiting me to play hockey for the Gophers, and I ended up signing for football instead, and Herb wasn't very excited about that. But anyways, later on, they asked him to be the coach for the Olympics in 1980. And a lot of people did not want him to be the coach, but he ended up being the coach. And when he picked his team, he picked a team that wasn't all the best players in the United States. He picked a team that he thought would make a great team. And during his training and everything, the players hated his guts, but he ended up doing things to make them better players. And by the time when the Olympics started, they became a team. And one of his lines was, "Great moments are born from great opportunities." And he took that team that wasn't the best players, put them all together, groomed them together to be the best team in the world. And they ended up winning the Olympics. Unbelievable. They beat the Soviet Union. Greatest game of all time. I don't know if anybody saw that, but it was a miracle, and it was incredible. So Herb Brooks was the greatest coach.
Mr. Darsow, guys and gals, made a case for Mr. Herb Brooks as the most motivational coach of all time. And now to round out this final round of topic number 1 will be Mr. Bill Eadie making a case for Nick Saban as the most motivational sports coach of all time. Good sir, are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
In a 3, in a 2, in a U.
Well, I'm going to talk about Nick Saban because I'm a football fan, especially college football fan. And anybody that follows college football, they might despise this guy, but they've got to respect his arsenal. He started in 1970. From 70 to 1989, he was an assistant coach, bounced around various coaches, various colleges, and even the pros, and became a head coach in 1990 and still a head coach today. He's Toledo, Michigan State, LSU, and everybody knows all about Alabama. 7 times national champion. His percentage of wins is 469. 284 wins, 70 losses, and 1 tie. And to top it off, talking about inspirational, he had 42 members of his staff over the years. 42 become head coaches. There you go.
Impressive indeed, guys and gals. Again, Mr. Eadie, Mr. Darsow, Mr. Brewer all made their points in topic number 1. So before we turn it over to you, the engine that makes this entire thing go, and you guys will be voting in the comment section live, as you do every Saturday night here on this one-of-a-kind tournament. Where else can you see, again, everyone come together for the pride and the prize, and really the backdrop is great conversation, right? Because at the end of the day, regardless of our vocation, regardless of our profession, we're much more than our professions. We can talk about anything we want, and we're doing that right here in this tournament. So with that, we turn it over to our great judges who will be voting. Their points are worth 3. And, of course, our wild card voters in the comment section, their votes are worth 3 as well. So let's bring in judge number 1, John Red. Who do you vote for and why?
Well, guys, first of all, I'd like to say, Barry, me and my brother, we used to love to hate you back when you were I mean, you did a hell of a job, man. That was really good stuff, man. You know,
thank you.
That was a time when everyone hated the Soviets. So, and Bubba, I was at that game in the Astrodome when he kicked that winning field goal.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't think he had enough leg, man. I thought he missed it. I was all cheering, and everyone was throwing their pom-poms. I was like, well, he missed it. No, he made it. That was rough. But anyhow, we're talking about most motivational. And, Bubba, you made some really good points about how Chuck Noll was a really good coach, and he built through the draft, and he coached these people up. You know, he started in defense, and he added players, and he got the buy-in from them and had to do some – but that really convinced me about motivational. Barry, you talked about how he had to bring these guys together. You know, they didn't even want him to coach the Olympic team. He had to bring them together and not only sell himself, but to sell them on the dream of you could win this thing. And he had to do it in a short amount of time. And I think I'm going to give my point to you because you convinced me that he was the most motivational of the 3.
So your vote is Mr. Darsow?
Or Barry.
Okay, 3 points. Megan, before I bring you in, are you okay with tallying in the back? I would appreciate that private chat, just to tally things in the back if you can. We do have 3 points now for Mr. Darsow, and we're going to turn it over to the viewers in a moment. So, John Rett, thank you for your vote. Megan, if you could tally that real quick. Right now, Barry's in the lead with 3. Let's pull up some comments real quick before Megan comes in here and actually casts her vote. Miracle was a great movie. Absolutely sure. Some more comments here. Again, you guys are amazing. We broke records on my page alone with nearly 5,000 last Saturday. And, guys, again, we're on 53 pages. So keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate that. Okay. Thank you, Megan. Let's bring her in right now and see who she votes for and why.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
So let's see here. Sports is not my forte per se, but I was listening to everybody, and based on what you guys were saying, I think you all had really great points. But similarly to John, I really enjoyed listening to Barry talk about how, you know, the players hated their coach. Like they just didn't even want anything to do with him when he first came in. He did things that helped them become better. And so based on that, and and my very limited knowledge of sports otherwise, I'm also going to go with Mr. Barry.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan, for your vote as well, guys and gals. Again, remember, we're not voting based on who we are in favor of in terms of the topics. Who made the better case? That's what we're voting on. Now we have 6 points for Barry, who takes an early lead here. Guys, remember, we saw Courtney Gaines with 1 vote last week, and he still wound up in round number 2 at only 1 point. Insurmountable odds indeed. Let's see what happens. So, all right, we have votes coming in now. We have votes. Okay, let's see. This is a vote from Tanya. Bubba has my vote. Okay, Megan, thank you for tallying in the back as well. We appreciate that. 1 vote for Bubba. All right, let's see what else. Mark says Bubba gets my vote. That's 2 points for Bubba. Okay, more and more votes coming down the pike. This is another vote coming in from Liliana, Gomez, voting for Smash, voting for Mr. Darsow. Thank you. Another vote for Mr. Darsow in the comment section. Okay. Alan does vote for Bubba. Okay. We have another vote coming in right now. Lisa says Bubba is receiving her vote. Okay. Got that. Another for Bubba. We have more votes. Bob Ruffner says Bubba Brewer. Thank you, Bob, for your vote. Kelly also votes for Bubba. Okay, so a couple more votes for Mr. Brewer here. Fiona says, my vote goes to Mr. Darsow for this round. Thank you so much for that. Okay. More votes coming down the pike. There's a lot of votes here, guys. I'm trying to keep track of everything over here. Let's see what else we have before we move on to round number 2, as these votes are trickling down the pike live. Giselle, Miss Kate Hart votes for Bill Eadie. Thank you for your vote there. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. We have another vote coming in from Lauren Brazos. I vote smash. I guess you vote Mr. Darsow. Thank you so much. All right. We have another one coming in. Mr. Eadie gets a vote. Okay, thank you. That's 2 for Mr. Eadie. Phil votes for Mr. Darsow. Another vote for Mr. Darsow. Haven't seen the wild card voters, guys. Johnny McKinney, haven't seen you. Ian Hernandez, have not seen you. Nor have I seen all 3. Let's see. Gus, you got to vote for one. He's voting for Demolition. You got to vote for one. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see. It was hard. I'm glad. Hey, listen, I'm not voting here. I'm moderating, so it's easy on me. Dakota says, Barry gets my vote. Great points. Absolutely. Thank you again for your vote, Dakota. We appreciate that. Bob Derry says, Bubba Brewer has my vote. Thank you so much for your vote. Can't get to all the votes. Doing my very best here as there's a ton coming in here live. Okay. Ian Hernandez with our wild card, 3 points. I voted before, my good friend. I voted for Barry. Did not see that. Thank you now. Appreciate that. Okay. 3 points for Mr. Darsow from our wild card voter. Chad also concurs and votes for Mr. Darsow in this round. All right, guys, a couple more to go, and I'm going to count this thing down. Jeff says, I'm going with Barry on this one. He gave me more points as to the motivation and inspirational aspect. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Gus says that my vote is for Bubba. Okay. No bias. All right there. Let's see what else we have over here. Julie says Bill Eadie gets my vote. Thank you, Julie Hall. Appreciate that. Okay. Brian says he also votes for Mr. Eadie, so 2 straight votes for Mr. Eadie. And Julie votes for Barry. Got that. Okay. Don votes for Bubba. Got your vote there, Don, for Mr. Brewer. Okay. Guys, I'm going to count this thing down. Unless there's more votes, let's see if there's any more that I have missed. 10, Julie Hall, Bill Eadie. Okay, thank you for your vote. And Howard says, this one is tough. I'm going to go ahead and vote for Mr. Eadie as well. Okay, thank you, Mr. Collado. Things are getting heated right now as far as the votes are concerned. Truly, Julie votes for Barry Darsow. Brittany, I got your vote now for Bubba. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for... Guys, you might have to type again if I do not catch everything. There are a lot of comments here. Okay, guys, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. After round number 1, guys and gals, Barry Darsow has 18 points. Bubba has 10, and Bill has 6. This is very close. The top 2 vote getters all move on to round number 2. One step closer to, again, some great tzatziki in Greece, and maybe 13 grand as well. So who knows? Let's see what happens here. Round number 2, topic number 2 is upon us right now. So with that, it is going to be the greatest movie villain of all time. More than 40 years ago, film critic Roger Ebert claimed that each film is only as good as its villain. He might not have been the very first person to make this observation, but in any event, Ebert certainly knew what he was talking about when it came to film. And his statement here is difficult one to dispute. Both before Ebert said this, and since the years, guys and gals, that he did, plenty of films have become iconic largely because of their villains. The lead antagonist gives the protagonist, or the heroes, something to fight against, and will often be the primary source of a story's conflict. Conflict's interesting, and so oftentimes the better or more compelling the villain, the more emotional engagement a viewer will feel. And this makes a great villain something of an enigma. Some are clever, some are persistent, or sometimes even understandable and tragic. So with that, guys and gals, we'll turn things around. And now Bill Eadie will make a case for Lee Van Cleef in those incredible spaghetti westerns, The Man with No Name starring Clint Eastwood. Lee Van Cleef as the greatest movie villain of all time. Then we'll turn it over to Mr. Bubba Brewer. He'll make a case for Darth Vader as the greatest movie villain of all time. And Barry Darsow will round things out and make a case for the Wicked Witch of the West as the greatest movie villain of all time. Mr. Eadie, good sir, are you ready to go?
Yes.
In a 3, in a 2, in a U.
Lee Van Cleef. I think most people, they may not recognize the name, but as soon as you turn on the film or watch the video, you'll know him. The spaghetti western heel. 170 films, a 38-year career, films and TV shows. As it was mentioned, the spaghetti westerns. He was in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. High Noon, a series of television shows that people might not recognize. It was on Gunsmoke and Bonanza, Rin Tin Tin, and all throughout his career, he was well known and well received. And in 1983, he won the Golden Boot Award, which is the highest award for spaghetti, Western, and Western heroes and heroes.
There's a rebuttal for Mr. Brewer. Go ahead.
Mr. Eadie, what villain did he play that is his greatest performance?
I think it would mine. The one that I remember was in the Spaghetti Western series, Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it.
Very good, guys and gals. Okay, that was the rebuttal from Mr. Bubba Brewer. Right now, speaking of Mr. Brewer, he's going to make his case for Darth Vader as the greatest movie villain of all time. Mr. Brewer, are you ready to go?
I am ready.
In a 3, in a 2, and a U.
Well, I picked this because Darth Vader is the most iconic villain in movie history. In 1977, that was the first movie my father took me to. As I sat in that theater and seen the most impressive villain of all time, 6'7", and the voice of iconic James Earl Jones coming through the speakers in that movie theater as he's destroying the rebels, as he's trying to get the plans before they destroy the Death Star. But I have to go back because he's very complex. He's very complex because we did not know that at the time that he had a backstory. And the backstory goes back to the Phantom Menace when he was a young kid. He was in slavery. He had his mom. He had no father. Well, first right there, that's a bad sign. That's a sign that's going down the dark path. Okay, so he went with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and they thought he was the new coming of the Jedis. Okay, he was very reckless. He would not listen to Obi-Wan. He was just going off in tangents, and when he found out that his mother was captured by the Sand Raiders, he went in and slaughtered the whole tribe. Okay, so now he lost his mom. He's devastated. He just killed people. Well, killed sand people. The whole tribe just murdered him and didn't have any ounce of remorse. He's slowly turning to the dark side. And then he beheads Count Dooku. And he almost stops. He goes to the Emperor. Mason Windu knows the Emperor is evil, and he stops Mace. He stops Mace, and he just slowly turns. But he also, before that, was married, and he was did not tell anybody. Love, despair, turns him into the villain that he is. And when Rogue One came out, everybody seen the true power of Darth Vader when he was going through that corridor before Star Wars: The New Hope. He is the most iconic villain in history due to the Force and due to going out in the galaxy and destroying everybody for the Empire. That's why Darth Vader is the greatest movie villain in movie franchise history, because 1977 to 2023, we are still talking about the Darth Vader character.
Guys, Bubba Brewer made a case for Darth Vader as the greatest movie villain of all time. There have been so many guys and gals. Of course, right now, to finish this topic off, will be Mr. Darsow making a case for the Wicked Witch of the West as the greatest movie villain of all time. Mr. Darsow, are you ready to go, good sir?
I am. You know, Van Cleef, great villain. Darth Vader, incredible villain. But I'll tell you what, I've never had nightmares about those guys. I think pretty much anybody anywhere has seen The Wizard of Oz. I know growing up when I was a kid, my mom used to make popcorn. We'd sit on the couch and we'd watch that, and I'd close my eyes when the Wicked Witch was out there. When Dorothy's house fell on the witch and the Wicked Witch of the West came out and in the Munchkin land, and every one of those Munchkins were scared to death. That was because she was the worst villain of all time. Now, when she had Dorothy and little Toto up in the room, and they had the hourglass, and she sent, the message that they needed, this whole thing with the monkeys and the witch and everything. She was in charge of making all this happen to terrorize Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and it was just brutal. And every time you'd go to sleep at night, you'd see that Wicked Witch. And when she was riding her bike at the very beginning, when she took Toto and put her in the back of that little basket and went and talked to Dorothy's grandpa and grandma, you could tell she was the biggest villain of all time.
That was Mr. Darsow, guys and gals, finishing up this incredible topic of movie villains. You know what, guys? We're going to go from villains to heroes, and we're talking about all of you because you are the engine that makes this thing go. You're here on a Saturday night. This is the place, guys and gals, to be. Every Saturday night, we do it right, and you guys are the light. So, with that, let's turn it over to our judges in the back who will be voting right now and letting us know who they think won this particular topic. So, again, where we stand now, just to give you all a recap, Mr. Darsow is at 18 points. Mr. Brewer is at 10 points. Mr. Eadie's at 6. Megan, please let us know who you vote for and why.
This is a tough one. It's a tough one because I personally probably know the most about Darth Vader. And so were I debating, I would have perhaps had some points of my own. But
that's understandable.
Oh, my goodness. I think for this one, because I, too, was given nightmares by the Wicked Witch of the West as a kid, that face staring at you in Technicolor through the screen, I think that I'm going to have to give this one to Barry because I also had nightmares about her, and she was kind of the unconscious personification of pure evil in Dorothy's mind.
Very good, very good. Megan votes for Mr. Darsow. Yeah, I had a lot of nightmares about her as well, guys. And there's a science teacher joke here somewhere, but I'm not going to get into that now. Guys, we're talking 40 years ago. Let's bring in Mr. John Red and see who he votes for and why.
Hey guys, look, I wasn't really sure about Lee Van Cleef. I'm not a big Western guy, and you talked a lot about his accolades and things that he'd done and awards he won, but you never really clued in on what made him a good villain. And so there's no way I could give you my vote now. Bubba, you had me. You did a good job of debating. But Barry, when you started talking about the witch and having nightmares, I remember being at a high school play, and I was a little kid, and they were having the play, and the witch came out. And even as a young kid in a play, I wanted to go home. I mean, she gave me the worst nightmares that I can remember, and I hated witches for a long time. What's to like about them? Except for the wonderful witch of the West, I guess, or the East, or whatever it is. But anyhow, I'm going to go with Barry again this round just because he reminded me of the nightmares I had when I was a child.
John Red, guys and gals, also votes for Mr. Barry Darsow. Thank you, John. And John, I need to have that Stetson one day, please. Please. Yes, thank you so much. Guys and gals, 3 more points for Mr. Darsow. Megan, thank you for tallying in the back as well. Right now, Barry has 24 points, guys, and is in the lead. Let's bring in the comments from the viewer section as well and see what all of you have to say. Joe is voting for Bubba Brewer. Okay, got that. Let's see. There's more. There's more votes here coming down the pike. Let's see what we have here. Sheila says she votes for Barry. Thank you, Sheila. Johnny McKinney, one of our wildcard voters with 3 points, also votes for Barry / Darsow. Thank you, Johnny McKinney, for casting your vote. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you. We have another vote coming in from Richard, voting for Bubba. Thank you, Richard. David the third. Okay. Julie says, I agree with Mr. Darsow. The Wicked Witch was the worst. I vote for Mr. Darsow. Thank you, Julie Hall. Okay. Christopher says, this one, where to begin to pick a debater for this round? All 3 men did so well, but I have to go with Barry on this one. And guys, please give extra. This has nothing to do with debating or your votes. But man, thank Mr. Darsow and Mr. Eadie. They had an event all day today, and here they are giving you their time. Class personified. Let's keep going and getting all these votes out here, shall we? Mel Red is voting for Mr. Darsow. That which still gets me. Seems like that's the case for a lot of you over here. Adam Jeffrey Hesterly votes for Mr. Darsow, and Kate Hart concurs. 2 straight for Mr. Darsow. Michael Brinkley says, I vote Bubba. Okay, got that vote there. Let's see. Chris Elliott also votes for Bubba, and so does Tammy. Okay, gotcha. Got those votes there from you two. And Ian Hernandez, one of our wildcard voters, says, Eadie made a solid and concise point. I vote for Bill. 3 more points for Mr. Bill Eadie. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. We have more. Randy Pritchard is a wildcard voter, one of our 3, votes for Bill Eadie. Okay, 3 more points just like that. 6 more points for Mr. Bill Eadie. 6 more points for Mr. Bill Eadie. We have more coming down the pike as well. This is from Brian Burr. Okay, Barry Darsow gets your vote. And Fiona concurs. Barry Darsow gets your vote as well. Bob Derry votes for Bubba Brewer. Again, for Darth Vader. Thank you, Bob Derry. We appreciate your vote as well. A massive amount of votes here. A ton. We have more from Emily Foster votes Bubba Brewer. Okay, got that. And Kelly Brewer also votes for Bubba. So that's 2 straight for Bubba. All right, let's see where we stand right now. There is more votes here. Tammy Thorson says Barry Darsow has my vote. Scariest witch of all time. Yeah. And Blake says also he votes for Mr. Darsow. That's 2 straight points for Mr. Darsow. Make that 3 because Giselle also votes for Barry Darsow. Had me at nightmares. All right. There we go. Andrew DeRed III says Barry Darsow gets my vote. That witch was scary. Wow, look at this. The witch. The ultimate antagonist. The ultimate heel. Could have had a good run. Let's see who else we got here over here. To see if they're voting here. Liliana Gomez votes Barry. That's still 1 vote. But I do see that. And we have another vote coming down the pike. Robert Coda says, I'm doing good. Great. Who are you voting for? Let's see what else we got here. Bob Ruffner votes for Bubba Brewer. And Ian Hernandez, with his 3 points, votes for Bill. That's all of our wildcard voters right there, guys and gals and pals. Okay. Julie says, I also vote for Bill Eadie. Okay. Got that vote. Let's see what else we have over here. This is from Roy. Roy, Bubba has your vote. I counted your vote. Okay, we got that. Blake Cabanis votes for Barry Darsow. Wow. The votes here are absolutely incredible because they're endless, and I love this. This is amazing. A buffet, a smorgasbord of different votes that we're seeing here coming down the pike. I love that. Ralph, trying to pull up Mr. Ralph's vote. Fiona said, so honored to have Mr. Eadie and Mr. Darsow. Thank you, Fiona. Appreciate that nice comment as well. Alan votes for Bubba, but Liliana votes for Barry. Okay. Dakota says, I vote Barry this time. Okay. What's that comment? Don't worry, Mr. Darsow. The nightmares are over. The witch can't get us now. All right. Man, we're talking so much about her. I don't know. Probably have a dream about her tonight. Let's see what else we got here. Guys, I'm going to count this thing down. Julie Red says my vote goes to Barry. Bob Ruffner, you're voting. A lot of you are voting Bubba 2 or 3 times, and I'm seeing that, and that's not cool. So please don't do that. All right. Because I'm not going to count your votes. Gus says I vote Barry and the witch argument. Okay. Thank you. Bob Ruffner is voting 5 times for Bubba, and I counted 1 already.
Just count once.
I have. He's making it rather difficult, and Roy Criesco is doing the same. So, guys, keep this fair, please. All right, let's see. We have more. Alex Chumbley votes for Bubba. Okay, I did not see your vote, so there we go. For Bubba, got that. Christy Belcher votes for Mr. Eadie, and Jeff Reeder votes for Barry. So 1 vote for Barry and 1 vote for Mr. Bill Eadie. Okay. This is Hauser voting for Bill. I think I'm going to count this down again, guys. I cannot get everything here. There's way too many. We'll be here all night. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Robert Coda says he votes for Barry. Got that. 10, 9, 8, 7, and a 6. We got a 5 and a 4. Phil says he votes for Barry. He's melting. Thank you, Phil Donahue. Appreciate that vote as well. All right. We're done here, guys. 3 and a 2 and 1. Lester Cook. Don't see your vote there. Jim Baggs votes for Barry Darsow. Okay, and Jalen votes for Barry Darsow as well. Guys, after round number 2, this is real tight here for second place, and we know, again, second moves on to round number 2 of this prestigious single elimination tournament. Barry Darsow has 40 points in the lead. Bill Eadie with 18 and Bubba Brewer with 21. 3 points differentiate Bill Eadie and Bubba Brewer. And we're up to our third topic right now, guys. This is a thought-provoking one. Everyone has a different topic. We'll start this thing off, guys and gals, with Mr. Bill Eadie. Bill Eadie, guys, is going to make a case for the following question. Bill, what's a question you wish people would ask you when they meet you for the first time? Are you ready to go, my friend?
Yes.
In a 3, in a 2.
Normally, it's how did you get into professional wrestling? But I wish that people would say, what contribution have you made to society? Because I pride myself in the fact that I'm not boasting, but for many years I've been teaching and helping kids at risk. And I don't think a lot of people realize that the youth today and the kids that I work with, slow learners, are just grouped, and I hate to put them in a category of thrown away kids because they haven't been given an opportunity or given a chance to learn. And the only way that they get attention is browbeat so often and put down. The only way that they can get that attention for somebody is to act up. And they want to learn too. They want to strive. They want to have a good home. They want to have a good job. But they've been pushed down by society and pushed through the education system just to move on. And nobody wants to stop and take time. And I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I try my best. And I wish people would take that into consideration. You know, granted, I had success in professional wrestling, but my heart is with the kids. And that's, you know, I wish people would understand that part of my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. As a former educator, that's amazing. I'm going to read some comments. And guys, I'll do this after each of these amazing human beings, first and foremost, before the participants. I'll read some of the comments directed to them before we move on. Jeff says, Bill is a humble man. Liliana Gomez, that's actually really nice, Bill. We love our viewers because we keep it clean and have a good time here, guys and gals, and we appreciate all of you joining us for the ride. Faye says, completely agree with Bill's view. Okay, there we go. I was at my high school reunion and had to leave early to watch the show. No, Christy, we feel bad for that. You can always replay it, but thank you anyway. Guys, we're going to turn it over right now to Mr. Darsow. And Mr. Darsow's question, how can a single moment have the power to change everything? Good sir, are you ready to go?
Yep, all ready.
In a 3, in a 2, and a U.
You know, what would have happened if I would have finished college? I had a full scholarship for football at the University of Northern Iowa, and I ended up not liking school. I ended up quitting school. But what would have happened if I would have kept, playing football and stayed in college? You know, I might have had an incredible job, maybe, being a doctor, or, being a lawyer, or, something, maybe, I don't know what would have happened. But if that would have happened, I wouldn't have been a professional wrestler. I wouldn't have met all of the people that I've met. And I've had the greatest life out of anybody, I believe. My son says, Dad, how you doing? And I always say, son, I've had the greatest life out of everybody. I've done everything. And if I would have went to college, I wouldn't have had my wife, who I love, and I wouldn't have my son. I wouldn't have my grandchildren. It's kind of funny how when you're 18 years old and you're getting ready to go to college, that one thing could change your whole life. And I'm so glad that I didn't finish college and I went the route that I did.
Wow, that's incredible. Read some comments here directed to Mr. Darsow. Wow, I got goosebumps because, again, if it was a different a turn, a fork in the road, going the other way. Who knows? Your son and your wife. Man, just to think about where life can go. We don't want to do that sometimes. So you definitely touched a nerve there. Guys, let's have some of your comments here because this is also to Bill. Bill, an amazing man of service, very awesome. That's from Howard Collado. This is from, I'm pulling this up, Fiona. Everyone has their own path, and thinking of another path can be scary and yet curious when you dive deep. Yeah, absolutely. So true. The road less taken. Incredible. Incredible stuff here, guys. You're getting things, again, from the heart and soul of Barry Darsow, Bill Eadie, and Bubba Brewer. They're sharing their heart and soul with us, so appreciate that as well. Mr. Brewer's going to round this thing out, guys. The entire debate tonight is, right now, going to be wrapped up right after Bubba Brewer answers the following question in his own words. Is it better to be realistic or optimistic? Mr. Brewer, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I am ready. Before I go, Mr. Eadie and Mr. Darsow, it was an honor for this debate tonight. So whoever wins, hats off to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill, thank you.
Thank you.
Being realistic. Let's go back in time because everybody's talking about some stuff close to them. Yes, I was in professional wrestling. I owned my own company. Okay, trying to run shows and do stuff and pay bills and not making ends meet was very hard for me. To look people in the eye when I couldn't pay the bills. Okay, but I didn't want someone to sugarcoat stuff to me. When I did wrestle one time, I had a big opportunity. I thought it was going to take me to places where I could just dream of going. It was a show, a Break a Barrier show in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The promoter who I worked with, I had to go into his office, and he told me, he goes, Bubba, he goes, no offense, he goes, you're not good enough to get on the show. So right there, you know what I mean? I'm up, I'm high, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? I just got everything kicked to the curve. But you know what? He was real with me, and being real is what it's all about. And I took that and worked hard for everything I've done in my life. Like what I do now in my life, I usually don't talk about what I do for my profession because it's very hard. I work in the mental health industry. It's very hard. I work in a program that's the only program in the United States where I have to be real every day as soon as I clock in, because those guys and those patients or whatever, they live and they don't want to hear about realism. They don't want to be real. It makes me the bad guy most of the time to be real with these guys. Hard work, motivation, desire, and that is just for freedom, everybody. They don't have the desire for freedom. So I have to go every day and tell these guys, every day I go in, take the lunchbox and go to work and be real with everybody. Maybe I'm too real. Maybe they can't handle the truth. I don't know. But it is a mental, exhausting job when you're telling somebody real stuff to get them focused, to get outside in the real world, to work, to try to make a family, to try to pay bills. But some people just do not like to have the realness of what they've been told. So that's why I think being real with people is something. They always say stuff about wrestling. Wrestling is more real than anything anybody's ever seen in their entire life. And I'm as real as anybody. This is not easy doing this debate. This is really me. This is hard work. And everybody that does this debate, hats off to them. Okay? You have to be concise. But I'm being real right now, and being real will get you farther in life. I'm not looking at a glass half full. I'm looking at the full glass. Because you know why? I want to drink it to success. Thank you.
Appreciate your passion, Mr. Brewer. Thank you. Before we start voting, let me just say this. Don't need these anymore, but I want to let Barry and Bill and Bubba know, regardless of the outcome, thank you again for being here, gentlemen. It means a lot to me. Thank you for taking the time, and also the research that you put into this. That does mean a lot to me, wholeheartedly. And once we're done, guys, whoever wins, I'll talk to them one-on-one. I'll talk to the other person advancing one-on-one, and then I'll ask the person who lost to also stick around here for a little bit. But, guys, I'm going to zip the old lip and bring out the judges. John? Who do you vote for in this final topic, and why?
Whew, man. Y'all do not make this last one easy at all. I mean, I can feel the passion behind every one of your arguments. Bill, I have to say, it's because of people like you that'll work with people who are a little bit further behind that my son is on the path that he's on today. Because they were easily to discard him, but it took one coach to take him under his wing and say, you're going to be just like everyone else. And that turned his whole life around to where he is now in like regular classes, easily pushed to the side because no one wants to invest in him. The world needs more Bill Eadies in this, and we need more Bill Eadies in this world that'll come and put their arm around these young kids that just need direction, that just need somebody to come to them and say, you are good enough. I'm going to give you my points this time,
Thank
brother.
you.
I appreciate what you do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
That was beautiful, John. Thank you for sharing that. And bless your son. John, 3 points from John Red. Guys and gals, for Mr. Bill Eadie. We'll bring in Megan, who also is an educator as well. See who she votes for and why.
Yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm copying John, but as someone who works with young people with special needs, I can't say enough how needed it is for us to shift the perspective and the mindset of our society on people who have special needs, because at the end of the day, honestly, we all have special needs. It's just that the society that we grow up in is more suited to certain needs than others. And I think that having people in the world standing up for and advocating those who have needs that our society does not represent, or who do get pushed aside or discarded or say that they are not enough, sometimes not even human, I think it's heroic, and we need more people like that. So I'm also going to give my point to you, Bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not a hero. I just, you guys are making me cry. I appreciate it.
You're a hero to them.
Without question, Megan. And you are too, Megan. And gosh, doing that every day. And I want to say something real quick, because there was an inclusion program when I taught U.S. history, and a lot of the children with special needs were in general ed as well. And I remember taking one of the students aside and doing hand over hand. It's a technique where you help them write, and they're nonverbal as well. And I remember one of the APs that was there said to me, "You don't really have to do that." I said, "Why?" She goes, "It's not your job." I said, "Right there, that's the problem. Right there, that's the problem. It shouldn't have to be a job." With that, guys and gals, thank you again. This is what we do here, guys. We educate and have a good time. And that's what we do here consistently because of all of you and these great, incredible human beings and participants. Right now, we turn it over to you. Let's see who you voted for and why. Guys, 2 will advance. 1 will be eliminated. Julie says, "I vote for Bill. I love the passion. Truly." Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. And your name gave me a chance to rhyme the word truly, so thank you, Julie. We have a vote there for Mr. Bill Eadie, and Sheila concurs. My vote is for Mr. Bill Eadie as well. Okay, Sheila, I got that. Johnny McKinney, one of our wild card voters with 3 points, is voting for Bill Eadie. That's 3 points for Bill. Thank you, Johnny McKinney. Got some Bubba votes here. I'm going to pull up in a moment, guys. Let me just scroll down here. Dre Williams votes for Bubba. Got that point from Dre. And Mark Benamati concurs and also votes for Bubba Brewer. Alex votes for Bill Eadie. Thank you, Alex Chumbley. Appreciate that. Brian says Bill takes it for me. And once again, Jeff Reeder concurs. Going with Bill on this one, it wasn't about him. It was about others and how they could, or how we could impact their lives. Thank you again for that comment there, Jeff. Joe, all my children are special. They have autism. Bless them, Joe. Bless them. Thank you for sharing that with us as well. And remember, when you tell us their names, guys, we get to know them. And that's a great thing, to get to know some of that's all it is. That's the difference between us being strangers and us being friends. Let's start with getting to know each other. Lori says, all 3 great debaters. I voted for Bubba Brewer. Thank you, Lori Lash. Appreciate that. More votes coming down the pike as well. Let's see what we have here. Kane Played says, Bubba got me in that round. That's a vote for Bubba. Okay. There is more. Hard to vote all 3 with great, but I have to vote for Mr. Bill Eadie. Caitlin Hernandez votes for Mr. Darsow. Okay, guys. This is coming down to the wire. Debbie Rowe Votes for Bubba. Hold on. There's a lot of comments here. I'm trying to man this. I don't have a producer back here doing this. So give me a break, guys, if you're wondering, to all the viewers out there. But as you can see, everyone right now is wondering who will advance. Really quickly, Barry and Bill and Bubba, this is very human. This is very human, and these moments are very human, of course, and we're talking one-on-one here about things that matter. But, again, curious to see who advances. Is there a curiosity factor now, Barry and Bill?
Well, I think I'm voting for Bill myself. I love him, and it's just what he said really, that's a problem. I mean, the educational system needs to be better.
Can I say something about the two of you? Pally's a long time ago, King Kong Bundy, had said the great thing about the two of you was you got along and you epitomized the word pro in pro wrestling. Sometimes it's hard to get a Waffle House, and here you are traveling to all these places, and you're lucky if you can get a decent meal, and you're checking into the hotel, and you can squeeze a workout in, maybe hopefully get a nap before the show. Then it's lather, rinse, and repeat all over again. And you guys were the pros of all pros.
Well, 36 years together. 36 years.
36 years. Incredible. Touched my heart, Blake said. Absolutely, guys. And here we are at the 11th hour right now. The final votes will be counted and tallied, and we will find out which two gentlemen will be advancing to a field where some of the greatest directors, basketball players, football players, Oscar Award winners are waiting in round number 2. We'll find out. Remember, randomly, after round 1 is over in a few weeks, we'll pick all those names out of a bowl randomly and find out who draws who in round number 2 in a few months. It'll be fun. All right, let's see here, guys. More votes, more votes. Thank you, Randy, for that. But who you're voting for? Roy Criasco votes for Bubba. I got that. Okay, thank you, Roy. Ian Hernandez, wildcard voter, votes for Bill in case you didn't see it. Great job. Thank you, Ian. So that's 3 more points for Mr. Eadie. Richard, not sure if you saw my comment. I saw it now, and you're voting for Bubba, so thank you so much, Richard. That is a vote for Bubba Brewer. Thank you. Fiona says, Bill has my vote in this round. Tammy Rowe, you're voting for Bubba. Thank you for your vote. Okay, guys. Thank you, Mindy, for that comment. You got my back. Be patient, gang. All this happens live.
Wow, what an ass beating.
Phil says he votes for Bill Eadie. Okay. Emily says almost went with Bill, but it's Bubba for me. So Emily Foster votes for Bubba. Roy Criasco, please do not vote again. I did get your vote. Julie Hall says, granddaughter with autism. Yeah, vote for Bill Eadie. Touched me. And your granddaughter is incredibly special. Thank you. Amanda says, great job. Bubba gets my vote. And Chris Elliott concurs because he also says, Bubba gets my vote. I work also with mental... Okay, it's going to be the hardest job in the world. Yes, thank you so much for that comment. Tammy, I got your vote already, and you're voting multiple times. I'm going to count this thing down soon. Kal-El joins us and votes for Bubba. Thank you, Kal-El, and you do an amazing job with Bubba. Incredible co-host of his. Triple B Experience, guys. It's a great podcast that Mr. Brewer hosts every day. Caitlin Hernandez votes for Barry. Darsow. Julie Red says, I have to vote, and it goes to Mr. Eadie. Thank you for that. Kane says, Bubba got me in that round, so Bubba gets a vote. It's real close here, guys. And due to time constraints, Bill Eadie gets a vote from Jim Baggs. And have to wrap this thing up real soon. Let's see where we are. Brittany, I voted for Bubba. Trying to pull all these up here with an amazing message. Thank you, Brittany. So I will count your vote for Bubba. Dakota, Bill takes my heart this round. You helped so many people and changed so many lives. Thank you for doing what you do and helping so many lives. Brittany, Social Media Phoenix votes for Bubba. A point for Bubba Brewer. I feel like a poll would be more accurate for voting at this point. There are no polls available here on StreamYard. I am trying to be a human octopus as best as I can. Thank you for your patience. Lisa Marie votes for Bubba. Antoine votes for Bill. All right, guys. Bubba's not here. He's walked off. Okay. I'm going to count this thing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guys, with a total of 42 points, Barry Darsow will be moving on to round number 2 of the TCAN Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament. And with a total of 43 points, Bill Eadie will also be moving on Bill won by 1 vote over Barry, but they're both in round number 2. How about that?
Unbelievable. Good job, Bill.
Good for the tag team.
Yeah, where'd Bubba go anyways?
Bubba's backstage. I'm going to talk to Bubba in a moment.
Yeah.
Backstage.
Well, tell Bubba thanks. It was great meeting him, too.
Yeah, it was fun.
He did a hell of a job. Bubba, I'm going to talk to you momentarily. Mr. Darsow, if I can talk to you momentarily, and then Mr. Eadie for about 2 seconds, if that's okay.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you, sir. You're moving on to round number 2. It's been a pleasure communicating with you the past couple of weeks, but man, oh man, the pride of the prize, one step closer, Mr. Darsow.
Hey, very exciting. I don't like to lose, and this is one step closer to winning.
Did you have fun tonight?
I did have a good time. It was very fun. It was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. What did you think it was going to be?
Well, I'm so used to just doing podcasts and interviews and all that, and I kind of thought that's what it was. But then when you said it's a game, then I kind of thought it was like that. But you got to think a little bit here, and it's getting hard for me to do that. I've been hit on the head. I've been hit on the head too many times.
You did a heck of a job, good sir. Again, man, oh man, you connected with the audience. All 3 of you did. Mr. Darsow, thank you again for joining us tonight, and welcome to round number 2, my friend.
I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.
You got it, Barry. Guys, Barry Darsow, class personified. And speaking of which, Mr. Eadie, wow, again, from one educator to another, thank you for what you've done and what you still do to inspire everyone.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the opportunity. It was exhilarating. I like Barry, I didn't know what to expect. We've done normal podcasts and interviews, but this was challenging. I enjoyed it.
We did too as well, sir. I'm glad you had a lot of fun. Welcome to round number 2. Is there anything you'd like to tell the viewers or fans or anything at all, Mr. Eadie?
No, I just appreciate the confidence that they had. And I realize that, whatever I do in education, I'm not a hero. I do it because I love to do it, and I enjoy the thank yous and the feedback from the kids. And I think that they can benefit from it.
I'm glad there are people like you on this planet. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Mr. Eadie, guys, class personified, and in round number 2 of this tournament. Mr. Brewer, I'd like to bring you in momentarily. You and I, it's not over for you yet. For all you Bubba Brewer fans, he's not officially out because we do know there's a bowl. And we're voting on those who were close to moving on, and he was extremely close because let's be honest here. Let's read some comments here, guys. Bubba, hang around for 2 minutes. I want to read some of the comments. Jeff says, great job by all 3. This was a tough round. This was always great. Bill, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Some of you are voting multiple times. You cannot do that. Making my life real difficult when you're doing something like that. Absolutely excited that they are here. Thank you, Blake. We appreciate that. We're now up to 21 Hall of Famers and 21 award winners. Not everyone can win, but we do have the Last Resort Bowl as well. Bubba, I seen you out there. You're back there. You're extremely upset. But hold on. Let's see what happens here. There's some more comments. Congratulations, Barry and Bill. Guys, you got to give it up to Bubba because, again, he's going to show up here right now live with me. Emily, I counted all your votes. If this is what we're going to do, I don't see you. I don't see you coming on the show and voting unless Mr. Brewer's here. So remember that you're a guest here. You're a guest. Be civil. Be civil or don't comment. I'm being dead serious right now. I don't owe you anything. I give you free entertainment. You like it? Awesome. You're welcome. You don't like it? You don't have to watch. It's really that simple. I'm a one person here. I'm one doing my job. I'd like you to try to walk in a mile in my shoes for about 5 seconds a day. Try that. And then come back to me, okay? Thank you. Bubba Brewer, welcome.
Unreal. Well, the one question was about the villain, not an actor. Unreal.
You're talking about Lee Van Cleef and Bill Eadie.
Yeah, Lee Van Cleef is an actor, not a villain. He played villains.
And you did rebut him on that.
Didn't do me any good, did it?
Well, Bubba, I mean, the votes
didn't do me any good. I don't want to hear. I'm about. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed. I'm not going to deny it. I am. Yeah, I thought I was. Yeah, I don't have nothing to say, to be honest with you.
So regardless of the outcome, had you have won, you would have been elated, obviously.
Well, of course, yeah, of course. But I mean, it is
what are you upset about? You're upset about their presentation. You're upset about the votes. You're upset about what exactly?
Well, I mean, I got double teamed by a WWE tag team. mean, hey.
I don't know how that's a double team. It was every person for themselves.
Well, I understand.
Let's see. Yeah, Easton, look, I know you may not want to hear this, but yeah, you did great. Doing my best to count everything up here, guys. I actually missed 4 votes for Darsow and 2 for Eadie in round number 2 as well. We're doing our very best. Thank you, Richard. Watching you do this makes me tired. It can't be easy doing this solo. Doing my best. And yeah, Caleb, Bubba was amazing. He is. I wouldn't want to face Bubba in a debate, and I'll say that here publicly.
Well, I mean.
Well, what? You presented great arguments. I mean, man.
I didn't present them good enough, though.
Yeah, but that's just the result, my friend.
Well, it's a good thing I had my people come on, or I wouldn't have got any votes, to be honest with you.
What do you mean your people?
Well, I mean people that support me and see that I actually, did some talking and did a debate, because it's not hard. This is not easy to do.
Would you say that they already supported you and were going to vote for you regardless? Because
I don't think so.
You have a chance now, Bubba Brewer, to... I mean, we're talking Lenny Wilkins, the only 3-time Sports Hall of Famer who lost. I mean, there's a lot of people who lost here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's a ton. JW last week.
Nobody likes to. No one likes to lose. I mean, I don't like to lose.
No, I get this reaction.
Yeah. I mean, it was close. It was 42.
You're not getting kicked to the curb here, Mr. Brewer. Guys, 43. I want to say this again. In a few weeks, you'll have a chance to vote. There have been over 23 or 24 people eliminated. You get to vote for 12 who've been eliminated, including Bubba, perhaps, and see if they get a chance to do this again. That stipulation is only going to happen after round 1. So he's not done. He's not finished. Just know that, because we're going to do this again. And if you feel like Bubba, out of all of those who've been eliminated, should be back here, then he will. That's what I offer all of those people, because a lot of you are coming to support people that maybe you haven't seen on this platform before, and you're getting used to it. So now that you're getting accustomed to it, you can come back and vote again.
Well, I never did this before, so I mean, I didn't. I gave it the Rocky. This is the Rocky.
I don't think Bill and Barry did either, man. But you guys were naturals. All three of you were.
No, I just figured. I'm not trying to be a poor sport, but I mean, a villain and an actor is 2 different topics. So, I mean,
you did rebut him.
Well, I guess
you did rebut him.
Well, yeah.
Look at this.
Well, there you go. You're lucky, I guess.
No, I'm not lucky.
Well, you're not facing me, so it wasn't meant to be.
Give me a moment. Give me.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Guys, we're not done here. We do something called blurring lines right after this, and I do want to talk to Bubba again if he's okay with this at a later segment, because you got to understand, when you lose, how could you not react this way? I mean, if you're a competitor, nobody enjoys an outcome if they're not
I don't
victorious.
like to lose.
Right.
I mean, I'm looking. I don't know. I guess the Chuck Noll thing didn't win me a championship, I guess.
I have to get in here, because you see, you like chicken parm. You see, I don't see a loser. I don't see a loser. Do you see this? Now, this is kind of a little prissy, I think. This is a little prissy. But the thing is when you have orange juice in a drink like this, see?
Well, maybe I should go crack a beer. Let me go crack a beer. Maybe I can go do that right now. I'll be a real man. Go crack an Iron City.
Actually, I'm going to use this. I didn't want to. Dang it, I'm...
You're
right about that. I appreciate.
So
I appreciate you. I think you gave.
Thanks.
You see what happened?
I see what happens.
This is cupcake Sauvignon Blanc. I'm going to make some chicken parm because I was excited. I thought you were going to win, and
yeah, me too.
I got excited.
Me too.
I got excited. Look. Here's the thing. I got excited. Really excited, and I was going to make that in celebration. I was going to pop this bottle for us, and we could revel in being the first 2 people that get a flyer. Like, it would be for sure. No, I'm serious. No, I'm not.
Well, it didn't happen. That's okay. I can spend my Saturday nights taking my future wife out, I guess.
I mean, you could. You can.
Yeah.
I mean,
I probably will now.
You're in PA, so I mean,
yeah.
Fermenti Bros.
So wait, hold on. Am I hearing that you don't want to be as one of those that might qualify for the last resort? Are you taking your name out of the running?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What?
No, that's your choice.
No, but the thing is, no, Avi, no. You see, I got ready. I got so excited for this.
I'll put you backstage, Joe. You can do all that backstage. All right, you can do that all backstage. You're a competitor, man. I saw
am
you getting
competitor,
upset.
Yeah. I'm a little. I mean, no, don't take me out. No. That's my emotions speaking. I'm emotional. I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian. So yeah, no, don't take me out. I just don't know how to get. I don't know how I'm going to get an opportunity to face them because it's not going to happen.
You never know. If you win, bracket, if you win your bracket, and then we draw you and Joe randomly. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just emotional. It's just emotional. Because actually, I was going to take my future wife out and celebrate this victory, but it didn't happen. I had of reservations, but it didn't happen. So you can see that I'm kind of upset.
One of my best friends for 15 years lost last week. JW, the guy that was.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. It's just
guys. I'm going to talk to Bubba. Guys, off screen, Mr. Howard Collado can maybe assess this with John Red if they don't mind this match. And I'm going to actually call Bubba. Bubba, I'm going to keep you backstage here for a second. Howard Collado and John, please assess.
Man, that came down to the wire. I mean, we could see here the score. The final score here was, guys, in case you did not keep up with it, it was 42, 36, 43. I mean, that was close. I mean, Barry with 42, if I'm not mistaken, Bill with 43, and Bubba Brewer with 36. I mean, numbers don't lie.
It's it's kind of what happened with when Jason London had the thing that kind of captivated the audience, and he came from last to first. And that's, that personal touch we know will affect the judges. Hell, it affected me. I mean, I did my best not to get emotional, and I just couldn't, so there's a lot of people out there that have not only their own kids, but family, friends that deal with this sort of thing. And he struck a heart chord, and it propelled him into the lead. And it's I understand that no one wants to come on here and lose. Look, it's not easy. He said that. Bubba said that in his last argument. Man, this isn't easy.
No, not at all.
You don't know that those lights come on and the rebuts come, and you got to think on your feet. You get the rebuts come in, you get kind of shifted around.
Sure.
And it's a learning process. I'm going to be better in my next debate than I was in my last debate. I mean, it's just one of those deals.
I mean, I think it's becoming clear every Saturday night. You just can't not. You have to bring your mental game. You have to bring your emotional game, so to speak, your intelligence.
Sure.
I mean, we always see this last topic. It really demands, vulnerability and honesty a lot of times. And I mean, we saw that, and I'll be just, colleague to colleague, friend to friend, brother to brother. Thank you for sharing what you shared.
Yes.
That actually legitimately, this issue touched me as well. And it's a beautiful thing to just watch other human beings just be vulnerable and honest. And we saw that in that last round. And I think that is really at the end of the day what resonates with people. I mean, yes, it's great to have a solid argument, know your points, hit them, be passionate about them. But at the end of the day, I think what this engine, you guys, the amazing engine that makes this thing go, I think what you guys respond to is just, who are we as people? And are we bringing that to the surface? And I think that's what resonates with a lot of our viewers.
And Bubba said that the difference between an actor and a villain, and I don't think he got very many votes with that argument. In fact, I told him myself, you named a lot of accolades, you named a lot of awards, but you really didn't talk about how he was a villain. Me not seeing any of that Western stuff, I didn't give him my vote, and I don't think he might have got a few votes, but it wasn't. That isn't what won it for him. What won it for him was that very last argument.
Yeah,
and the results speak for themselves. And look, at the end of the day, we all know how tough it is and how fast those comments are coming in, and we know that there's a chance that one or two might get missed, but they're missed across the board. It's like when you have a referee that misses a call in a game, they balance themselves out at the end of the day. And the results wouldn't be much different if you added the ones we missed for this person and that person. You're going to be about where they are now. And so
Yeah.
the thing is, the reason why you have to bring it is because these triple threat matches, they're decided on by a slim margin, and sometimes a couple of votes will get you either way. And so you have to be prepared. You have to have backups. You have to have rebuttals. We all know that. And I think we only had a couple of rebuttals in this thing. So, those rebuttals are key. Last week, the rebuttals are what I believe put the winners where they were.
Oh, it was a back and forth tennis match, foray of rebuttals. I mean, there was a rebuttal to the rebuttal to the rebuttal.
It turned into a rebuttal conversation.
Yeah, I think now it's a hashtag rebuttal. But to your point, it was interesting because I think he brought up the numbers, right, of Vader's accomplishments and his victories, right, his victims, so to speak. But what's the human story? What's the human story behind Darth Vader that at the end of the day still resonates with people, right? It was that he was this human being that got overtaken by dark forces, right? I think that's what maybe people wanted to hear. Yes, we know who he killed, what his accomplishments or lack thereof were. But what's the human story?
Right. Like Avi will tell us in workshop, dude, go deeper. Uncover
the layers. And speaking of, I know he's in the back, but amazing job for just being a one-man, machine, being able to count all those votes. It's not easy. So kudos to him. But
he's not only having to go through and read the actual comments and pull up comments and keep the show flowing, but also as those comments are coming in, they're burying votes, and so he has to go scroll back up and find them and remember who he's already voted for. And it's not. No, this is something that's it's not an easy thing. And really and truly, I think I saw a comment where someone said, "Hey, take it easy. Just be patient and let it basically trust the process." That's just what we have to do.
That's ultimately it.
As far as that argument with I thought he did a good job with the Darth Vader argument, but when you talk about it being scared, it's almost like the clown on it. I know a lot of my friends don't like clowns because of that movie. So witches there's not much whole lot to like about them anyway.
Sure.
And when you have that connection, I remember being in that high school play and the witch coming out, and I didn't want to be there anymore. And I couldn't go anywhere because I was with my parents. But
there's also something very charming and beautiful about this very big, buff, strong man. I mean, we all know, the amazing tag team he was part of, right? Demolition. I made a comment. Me and my abuela, we used to just love watching their matches. But there's just something very charming in a way of this very beautiful, strong man, declaring that this witch scared the bejesus out of you.
Right. Showed some vulnerability, and that's
but it's honest. It's honest.
For sure.
And that's what people respond to. I mean, I think that witch is like seeped into the psyche of a lot of young boys and girls at a very young age, And then
look, he's upset. And he's take me out, don't take me out. But the Second Chance Bowl, there's a lot of people that are going to be up for that lost. And it was kind of like it is now with this,
Sure.
It was close.
Yeah.
And things at the end they kind of got overcome. And that's why we have the Second Chance Bowl for people just like this, where they have an opportunity to give it one more chance, and let the cards fall where they may. But you got to have a will, and where there's a will, there's a way. My grandmother used to say.
I completely agree. I think it was genius on Avi's part to come up with the concept of a last resort bowl, because I mean we've seen so many of these matches, as we talked about before, end in really close margins and really almost ties. And the last resort bowl is going to be that last redemption, right? That last redemption spot that you're gonna.
That's it. This is where it is. This is where it also, hey, like, talk about that song that says, let's skip to the good part. This is it, man. This is where we do what we do. This is what makes us the green roomers. You know, we have the blurring of the lines. And this is the good part of the show. You know, I mean, we just had a hell of a debate. But what we do right here is where it all comes down to. So, you know, I was asking, you know, we've been talking about meeting Lauren for some time now, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are wanting to meet her, and I'm hoping that this happens tonight because, I mean, I've talked a lot about her. I've said a lot of things, and I've made a lot of innuendos, but you really got to see for yourself and judge for yourself. So hopefully tonight's the night. You know, I've been telling, I get people asking me almost every day, when are we going to meet Lauren? I'm saying soon. Be patient. It's a process. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how are you this evening?
So,
and
guys and gals, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. There's more show to go. Again, stick around for the blurring of the lines. What does that mean? Well, it means you get to know a lot of this entire cast a little bit more.
Yeah.
As some try to make it to the next chapter. I want to say something about Bubba Brewer here live. Up until now, I'm going to say the guy has been classy and professional. I have nothing bad to say about him. I will say that until someone is in this chair, they don't know what it's like to do what I do. Just like I don't know what it's like to do what he does. Or I don't know what it's like to do your day-to-day. But I applaud him for being here. I applaud him for doing what he did. I can't knock all the viewers who did vote for Barry and for Bill. I can't knock the viewers who voted for Bubba. It's the way it goes. What I ask for is for some decorum, professionalism, and respect from top to bottom.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the end result. From top to bottom. And that's what we do here in the green room. And sometimes, guys, we're going to have to bring that up. The stories are awesome. Thank you, Aaron Franklin. There's a lot of work that gets put into this, guys. You know, doing the green room, I don't get paid a dime. I don't get paid a nickel to do this. I do it because I want to. I sit down and conceptualize topics for Bubba and everybody else on my Sundays when I don't have to do that. I haven't seen anybody try to do that for me, and I'm not asking them to. I haven't seen somebody write me a storyline, and I haven't asked them to. I haven't seen somebody say to me, hey, you know what? The exposure that everybody gets here on this show, it's massive, it's collaborative, it's a team effort, and we appreciate that. But the sweat and the hard work that I do that goes into what we do here at TKN, it's unlike anything else out there.
Absolutely.
You guys take my workshops. I've seen acting coaches charge money. I don't. I don't do this for the money. I do this for the love. Thank you, Jarrell. I appreciate that, JW. So I understand what it's like to lose. Man, oh man, it sucks. It's the worst damn feeling in the world when you lose. There's nothing cool about that. Nothing. But there is something cool about saying you got up here and competed. There is something cool to say that you got up here and competed against mystery people. Had no idea who they might be. I don't hate on Bubba. He's a great dude. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's a smart guy, and I think he's a charismatic guy. And I also think that Bubba Brewer is not necessarily someone who advanced to the second round because of anything nefarious. But I will say this. No one should tell someone, no one should tell others to vote before the match has begun. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
I've had a lot of things in my life happen that instinctively put me in situations where I wanted to react right away. And I did. So I'm not here to cast blame on that. No, we've all done that. We've all gone, man, I wish I wasn't so spontaneous like that. What I'm saying is this tournament and all it has to offer is going to produce great moments and not so great moments. People are going to be reactionary. I love this network. I like to think that everyone who's been debating thus far has brought a lot to the table. You don't all have to love me, and that's fine. I don't do this for the love. If I did this for the love, I would have an Avi show on the network, and I don't. I try to put other people over.
Yeah, for sure.
It took me 20 years, 20 some odd years to do what I'm actually loving right now instead of what I need to do. It takes me days to put together some rhymes for Bubba, for Barry, for Bill, to do my research on them. Again, I'm not saying I need a prize for this, but what I'm saying is
a little latitude.
Class and professionalism go a long way.
You're valid.
There's a lot of finger pointing going on, and I'm tired of seeing that in 2023. People who don't win, let's blame someone. There shouldn't be any blaming.
Not at all.
So in an effort to make sure I was very honest and kind, I left my live broadcast right now. And before I go further, all I'm going to say is don't show Bubba any hate. It's not what we do. Show the man some love. I meant what I said. He debated great. And he's got a lot of charisma. Just remember that no matter what you're doing in life, don't be judged or don't allow others to judge you based on that one singular moment, because we're all going to have crappy moments that we wish we could take back. So I, for one, am not going to judge someone based on a good or a bad moment.
Yeah.
But I will say for those who voted multiple times, not cool. Not cool. It isn't my job to get other people to understand how common sense sometimes isn't so common. How it's very apparent that you should vote for a person one time and not multiple times and make my life hard.
Yeah.
You can vote multiple times per topic. I mean, spread out to different topics. You can't vote more than once per topic. What platform allows anybody to vote more than once per topic? You cast your vote for a person, and we count that. And then we move on to the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the TKN Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, guys and gals, then you know the rules. If you don't, not my fault.
Right.
The voting system is quite simple. For those that don't know that you cannot vote more than once per topic, again, it goes back to common sense. No, you're not being rude at all, Easton. You said not trying to be rude, just confirming. I mentioned my vote multiple times, and then I counted it. Yeah, of course that's okay. Like if I miss your vote, sure, I'll pop up and count it again. No one is being maligned. No one is being chastised. No one is being judged. But you guys don't see what I experience behind the scenes sometimes.
Oh, no.
There's
And
a
I
lot
don't expect
going
you
on.
to. And I don't expect you to. There's a lot of moving parts. Do you guys think that these celebrities just pop up out of a tree? They've got nothing to do, and all of a sudden, oh, these celebrities and Hall of Famers and Oscar winners are here. I've
Phone
cultivated
calls
a
left and
relationship.
right.
I've cultivated a relationship with these human beings based on trust and honesty. And if they didn't trust me, and they hadn't worked with me or collaborated with me or started to, they wouldn't be here. And I'm saying that because I want everyone to understand something. I didn't just wake up one day, put on headphones, and plug in a microphone. I didn't want to do this years ago. I was content with writing for a living. I was content with screenwriting for a living. I was content with teaching for a living. I did this because I wanted to help. Help people that may not have a name. Help people that may not be recognized. Help people that want to be able to be on screen with luminaries so we can realize we're all the same. So we can realize that a man who works in a restaurant like John Red is no different than a man who's wrestled for 45 years like Bill Eadie. When an educator like a Giselle or a Megan can be on screen and realize they're no different than a Bill Eadie. When a Joe Rositano can be on screen with a Michael Winslow and realize I'm no different than him. Their path to success speaks for itself. But I did this because I wanted to make sure everyone had their own path to success. But I can't be responsible for outcomes, and I can't be responsible for chicanery, because that ain't cool. Because that's not going to happen on my show. It won't. And if you have a personal bias, that's fine. There's nothing I can do about that. I can only speak logically. Thank you, Miranda. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dakota. But you know what? It's not about that, man. You're seeing something very real right now, guys. There's no blurring of a line. I don't owe anybody anything. So let's get that out of there. A lot of times you might be a little bit too kind with people, and they assume you owe them something. I don't owe anybody anything. This is my airtime. And I run this show the way I run this show. And if the only goal is to win $13,000 in a trip for 2 degrees, and people are going to try to write off my coattails, you got another thing coming, because I wasn't born yesterday. This ain't the part where I say I grew up in the mean streets of Queens, but it's the part where I say I've seen a thing or two. And I know a thing or two about a thing or two. I'd rather be Mr. Moderator guy. I'd rather be Mr. Host guy. I don't want to be Mr. Nanny. I'm not here to be. So, if you have any questions, guys and gals, in the comment section, Emily, you did fine. I'm not blaming you. Thank you for what you did. And thank you, Julie Hall, and thank you, Kayla. These are real moments. You know, I could shy away from this moment, guys. I can pull up some blurring of the line scenes. I could, I don't know, have Howard Collado let us know what he thinks about the fight for the foundation with JW. You've been following that. I could do all of that. One thing I'm not going to do is shortchange you from the truth. I'm not. If people say, hey, what has the green room done? What have we done? This is what we're doing. This is our canvas. We don't have to show you a resume a mile long. This is our canvas. And if you feel something good about watching the show, if you feel great about being a part of the show, great. Don't feel guilty about it. Nobody should. Nobody should make another person feel bad about watching someone that they love, watching something that they connect with. I'm not going to blur lines. Not right now. This isn't some speech I prepared, obviously. I'm speaking from the heart in a genuine capacity. Here at all to try to convince you of anything other than the fact that if you enjoy this show, if you learn a lot from it, if you like the community, if you like the positive energy, keep watching. But enough with the trolls and enough with the haters. Because you know what? Even though you might think that by sitting down and eating your popcorn and laughing at the fact that I've upset and you rattled me, and I'm not talking to anyone directly, but if anyone has thought that over the last few months, over the last year, you're not. You're not. Because I'm going to continue doing what I love. And you're not going to stop me from doing what I love. And the green roomers here are not going to stop doing what they love. And if this is too preachy, too serious, guess what? We're doing just fine. You don't have to watch. But for those that do, you're getting a slice of reality over here. A slice of reality. Sometimes doing what I do is like walking around with a tray with only 2 pieces of steak, while 95 other dogs surround me want their piece. I don't complain about that. The way it goes. I book this thing, I write this thing, I get it. Everyone's going to want theirs. So I tell you this right now. The reason why I haven't even stood up during this broadcast, like physically stood up in front of the camera, is because I prefer sitting down writing for a cast and not getting compensated. I prefer sitting on a Sunday in my office, in my living room, in my dining room, looking out the window and thinking of storylines for storytellers or would-be storytellers that want to become storytellers. And some who've been self-entitled and some who haven't, some who embrace the craft. Awesome. Because I get one shot at doing what I love in life. Don't need the money. Already made that. This is what I love. So for anyone assuming that this place needs to get picked up, it needs to be on Netflix, yeah, that'd be amazing. Sure, it'd be great. That's the dream. But in reality, the present is a lot sweeter than the possible or probable future ahead of us. Because I'm enjoying this day to day. I'm loving every minute of it. I wouldn't do a thing differently. We've had a lot of people in the past who won't admit the following, who have tried to get theirs. And when they haven't gotten theirs, it's good to know we're still on your mind. It's good to know that while we're trying to be the very best at what we do, and according to all of you, we are, and according to all of our luminaries who are here, we are, and according to the people that work behind the scenes, we are, it's good to know that you're not a thought in our mind. It's really cool to know that. So if anyone wants to engage in some sort of Twitter or Facebook war, you'll be entertaining your own audience, and then they'll get sick of it. And then they'll realize that all you're doing is talking about somebody else who isn't talking about you. Because I don't plan on talking about anybody else. I plan on taking this microphone, and I plan on being consistent, and I plan on continuing this TCAN Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament with, by the way, guests next Saturday that you can't believe. A huge WWE Hall of Famer, one of the best of all time, is going to be here. A former Oscar winner and 3-time Emmy Award winner and 2-time Golden Globe winner is going to be here as well. That's a one-on-one matchup I don't want you to miss. A Grammy Award winner in a couple of weeks. One of the greatest directors and one of the greatest authors. So we're loaded right now. And as I keep saying this, I'm not bragging about the names that we have here in this tournament, but why don't you go down the rabbit hole and see what anybody else is. Is anybody else doing even close to what we're doing? You might see the Tonight Show out there, but they got a damn big budget, and they're not doing the format that we're doing. You know why? Because it requires a lot of work. A lot of work, and even more. TKN is always going to be a place that you guys can watch and be a part of. And TCAN is always going to be a place where we keep things real. I know that at the 2-hour and 5-minute mark, we usually go a bit longer. We may or may not. I don't really know. I don't know if I feel like it. But if we do end this broadcast now, at least we've given you 2 hours of great content tonight, haven't we?
Absolutely.
We love that. And at least you know we're here to record our 159th consecutive episode next Saturday.
Like the sun rises.
So for all of those who are obsessed with metrics, and I, too, love metrics because they represent interest in our brand. But if you live off them, guys, when we started the green room, there were no metrics. None. We were on a Saturday morning 3 years ago. There were no celebrities in sight. You could even hear a whisper in the wind. It was quiet. It was quiet. Even if you listened to the silence, you wouldn't even be able to hear it. But we kept trucking along. We kept trucking along. And we couldn't do it without you. Because you guys are here commenting. And you know what? I'm going to give it up to Bubba, too. For the last month and a half, showed up here with great energy. Great enthusiasm. I don't dislike him. Don't hate him. But I'm not responsible for other people's emotions, or nor am I responsible for how they react to situations. I'm not. I sleep really good at night, knowing I've done the very best to be communicative and open and direct and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm lifting curtains up right now so the viewers can understand. Avi's not here sitting collecting paychecks while everybody works their butt off. We're all working on this together. We're all doing what we're doing. There's no secret sauce. There's no magic wand that can take us to heights unknown. The best way and the best chance that we and all of you that have your own pursuits, the best chance you have at getting close to success is defining your passion and then doing something about it. Because you dream when you're asleep. But you do when you're awake. It's fine, a dream. But what are you going to do next? What are you going to do once you wake up from that dream? That's all I'm saying. I want to read some comments here. Thank you, Dakota. Appreciate that. TKN always keeps it real. 100%. In the midst of an upward fight and struggle, life reveals to you what is truly inside, what you're seeing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Find your purpose and chase it. Do the dream. Thank you, Michaela. Blood, sweat, and tears. A couple more comments, guys and gals and pals. All right. John and Joe, if you want to say anything while I pull up these comments, feel free. Is Bubba Brewer going to be in the second chance debate? It's up to Bubba.
You know, Avi, I would say that what makes it hard sometimes when you ask people to come on and vote and watch, you're going to be on, but they don't do it week to week, so they don't really know what to expect. And they come in, they think that it's going to be just, they're going to show up, they're going to vote, and everything's going to flow almost like a game show. And it's really not like that. And they don't understand you have to trust the process. And like me and Howard talked, you probably missed some votes on each side, but it all works itself out to where everything is going to be about equal when the chips fall where they may. And then I would just say one more thing, that we voted as a cast to let Bubba have a shot, you know, and so he had his shot, and, you know, he may get another one, he may not, but we did vote, and we said, hey, give him a shot, give him a chance. And it was his chance. And, you know, he fell short. And it seems to be a common theme when we give someone a shot and they fall short. And I understand no one likes to lose, but when someone gives you something, I mean, that's just what it is. Sometimes you don't win that deal. It's like if someone gave me a lottery ticket and I scratched it and got pissed off because I didn't win. There's no guarantees.
You are either going to give it your all, and at the end of the day know that you gave it your all, mentally, emotionally, and that in and of itself becomes the reward.
Absolutely.
And if you feel like you didn't give it your all, then that's also what you're going to sleep with at the end of the night. And you have to look at that, and you got to allow that to reveal to you what are things you possibly need to work on? What are things that you need to look at a little more deeper?
Right. You know, and I know firsthand the Red Army, we talk about it a lot. We blur lines with it sometimes.
Sure.
But I make sure that the people that I bring in, I'm not asking for their vote. And look, people are going to give you more of the edge, but I want to bring people in every week. Don't come in and vote for me on the day that I come in and I compete. You come in and vote for me, but then they don't see you for another 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks no, we have to be, if they're going to vote, they're going to vote every week, and they're going to see how the thing works. They're going to understand it, and they're going to know that it's, hey, the best one has to win. It's not what you like. It's about who presented the best argument. And I had my brother voted against me. My nephew voted against me. My brother-in-law voted against me. And that's what it has to be. Now, look, I know that people can look at the results and say, that's biased. But I know that I can, in my heart, that I prepared, I worked my butt off, and I did some good arguments, and I got some votes, but I didn't just get the votes from my friends and family. I got votes from the judges and everything as well. So it's a collection, and it can be frustrating even. But I make sure that I know that my family knows. Don't embarrass me by going in the comments and saying, "Where you get my vote? You get my vote." Trust the process. If he misses one, he misses one. Like I said, they're going to miss some on every side. Triple threats are even that much harder because you got 3 people that are getting votes for them. So,
I mean, yeah, they're coming from, all the sides, and, and I remember when I was on and competing, I told people, vote for me if I make a good argument. If you think my argument was the best, then you vote for me. It's endearing that you want to vote for me because you like who I am as a person, right? You value your friendship. Great. But can we have a little objectivity?
Absolutely.
That's what makes this competition so interesting, right? When we really just leave bias at the door and just look at what do they bring to the table, and does it resonate with us?
Absolutely. And I think Avi had pointed out several weeks ago when hey, tell me why you're voting. Now, we don't have to give a big, long, drawn out paragraph, because it's, but, say not just the name, but why did you vote for that? Especially if it's somebody that, you've never voted before. Mm-hmm. Tell them why they make the better argument, because, there's things that could do it for different people on every side. And when we judge, we give a reasoning why, because I don't want to come on and give 3 points to somebody and just say, hey, it's you, appreciate you, and go on. We want to give a reason why did I give you my vote? How did you earn it? And so that doesn't have to, they don't have to, like I said, go all out, but just give it one reason if you feel like that'll help to, what did he say that was going to make it to where it was not a biased vote? He actually made a good argument.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I love about this competition, this tournament, is when I get educated, right? And these competitors bring up a fact or a point or a perspective I never thought about. Eric Dickerson, at some point he was arguing Frederick Douglass, and I did not know that apparently on his last day here on Earth, he suffered I believe it was a heart attack. I could be wrong, but he was coming from a women's liberation or some sort of a protest of some sort for women's liberation. And I thought that was a pretty powerful, pretty powerful fact that he shared with us. And I love moments like that. And that's who's going to get my vote, because he educated me. And I think that's so much part of what Avi talks about when he talks about so much of what we deliver is edutainment, right? It's entertainment and information and education, so to speak. Yeah. We live in a world where we get, and I don't want to get too preachy here, but I think it is a fact, and I think we all kind of know this. We live in a world where we get bombarded by excessive information, just fluff, and just a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And it becomes more difficult to really discern what's of substance, what's of value. And I truly believe what we bring here at TKN is of value.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to know when somebody tells you something, are they telling, is it even true? Sure. And so one thing that I appreciate about a lot of the people that come on and they make an argument, they will read off a paragraph of something that they, to kind of prove that, hey, this isn't just fluff, like you say, this is true stuff that you probably didn't know. But here we are, and it helps to make the argument for them.
There's a great question there, Cecilia. So how do you vote when the time comes? So ultimately what happens, Cecilia, is so our live judges will make their assessment and vote. And then it's opened up to you guys, right? And Avi literally says, now it's time for the engine to vote, meaning you guys. So then you go in and you state in, hey, I vote for whoever. And then you have to just, again, as John's been saying, trust that your response will be coming up on the feed, on Avi's feed. So that's pretty much the process. I hope that answered the question, Cecilia.
Voting early. We also have some people that don't quite vote in time. And when, like he said tonight, we have to, for time constraints, we have to call it at some point. And the vote didn't come in time, and sometimes they just miss it. And so obviously you want to not vote too early, but you don't want to wait too long either. So you want to get your vote in, and it'll get counted.
Sure.
Like I said, trust the process.
And here's a little tidbit fact. You could also say, hey, I voted earlier. I'm just, making sure that you counted or saw my vote for so-and-so, right? If it gets kind of lost in the shuffle, but again, what I love about what we do again is, and I talk to Avi about this all the time, there's no blueprint for this.
No.
What we're doing is it's innovative and it's new, and I don't want to toot my horn too much, but yes, I'm going to toot my horn because there is no blueprint for what we are doing. So there's going to be moments where we have to kind of navigate something to the best of our ability because we've never done it before.
Right.
And that's the exciting part of this.
The thing that really makes me feel like, okay, so when he's asking the guys, hey, what did you think? And he was like, hey, that's not what I thought it would be. They were kind of nervous, not really know what everyone knows what a debate is, but the celebrity grand debate is totally different. It's kind of entertainment all in one, and they all leave by saying, hey, this is not what I thought it was.
Cecilia, another great question. What kind of celebrities come? Is it a variety? I mean, essentially, yeah. You have celebrities who have Hall of Famers, you have Emmy Award winners, you have celebrities who, made amazing film in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, all throughout. It's a mixed bag of who comes on. On any given Saturday night, you have an amazing Hall of Famer going up with a Hall of Fame wrestler going up against a Emmy Award winner actor. I mean, where do you get that? I mean, it's I think last 2 weekends ago, I think we had Mick Foley, Sergeant Slaughter, and Cindy Pickett, and Cindy gave that great. Let's see. Can you let us know at this time whether he decided to stay in the last resort? But that's going to be Avi's decision at the end of the night. That's going to be Avi's decision. Yeah. Good question, though, Easton. And thank you for watching, Easton.
And I can say when we talk about what celebrities, there is nobody that is outside the realm of possibilities. I'm telling you, there's nobody that they're lining up. People want to come on this show and they want to be on the Celebrity Grand Debate. I mean, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I mean, man, come on.
Thank you, Lester. Thank you, Lester. We love your support, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
To add what you're talking about. Good to see you too, Easton. To add what you were talking about, I think what they love about coming here is that they're showcased and highlighted in a different light, right?
Yeah,
I think Mark Henry has, you saw it in the intro, Mark Henry always talks about how, sometimes athletes are just viewed and perceived as just athletes, right? Absolutely. But no one is just anything, right? Yeah. We're all human beings that have insight and perspective and feelings, right? And when they showcase that on this forum, they glow and you could see it, and we become part of that experience, and that's what's so beautiful about what we do.
Like what Julie Hall's saying here. Yeah. That's what's great about TCAN. They all care. They want you to feel welcome and part of the team. Avi says it all the time. You're the engine. We need y'all. We need your votes. Where else are you going to get and have your comments read live? I mean, that's pretty cool. It's an interactive. When I put up posts saying about coming in and watching, I say, join us live. That way you can interact and vote in real time. So we can all watch it later. But when you're watching it in real time, it's cool stuff.
It really is. Mick was the bear.
Was the best, I believe.
Mick was the best. Yeah. Well, it was interesting because, right, Mick did this rebuttal, but it wasn't really a rebuttal. When Cindy shared about, why I think Christmas was the best holiday, and she shared about her singing with her mother and learning how to harmonize, and Mick gives a rebuttal, and and he's like, I'm waving the white flag, and then Avi brilliantly says, "Is that a tactic, Mick? Are you using a tactic?"
Hey, look, you're bummed that you missed Sergeant Slaughter, but hey, guess what? He's in round 2, so you missed him this time, but hey, stay tuned because round 2 is going to start in a few months. And man, there's so much talent. There's so much talent in round 2.
And there's possibly, I'm not going to set anything in stone, right? But there's possibly maybe a show coming down the pike with Mr. Slaughter. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
That's the www.thenewnetwork.com. Already over 60 shows and lots of content, lots of free content. But to unlock everything, you need to log on and subscribe to a tier. And man, that's good stuff.
It really is. And, it's really such a kick when I see these celebrities and athletes who really maybe not necessarily have, are part of the same social circle. They come in and they just interact with each other and they see what binds them together. Right. And I think that, because I always say this joke, we never really leave high school, right? There's always cliques, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think when we are able to transcend those cliques and see what we all share, what's the common denominator, right? I don't want to get all corny and sappy, but I'm going to get all corny and sappy. The common denominator is love, respect, integrity, and passion.
I agree with Tammy. That's the best thing on the today. I believe that.
Thank you, Tammy.
I believe that Mark Henry said there's nothing on TV that night that him and Avi went at it, the triple threat. There was nothing on TV that was better than that night. So we got to get people to watch, and that's kind of what we do week after week. We push the shows and everything.
We also thank you, Richard, for staying. Thank you for staying as well, because that's what we love. We love to see you vote, but we also love to see you stay too, because there's so much more show afterwards. I mean, we all know we all have our timelines in this wonderful, wonderful thing of the TKN and where we're going. And while many of you don't agree always to what we're doing, it's it's a wonderful thing to be able to show you how we pursue that and all of that live in real time.
Joe, I'm not sure if you shared it before, but I'm really curious about what was your perspective of the match tonight?
I thought it was an excellent match. I thought they all did well. In fact, I really loved Bob's arguments. I agree. I loved getting to see him work with the Darth Vader angle, and I also loved getting to hear about Bill's work that he does too. That his voice, I'm going to be completely honest and trite with all of you. His voice was beautiful. I loved his voice. For some reason, it was very calming, and I appreciated getting to hear him elucidate on what more went on in his arguments. And yeah, I appreciate the work that he does more now, even more so. So yeah, no, it was an excellent match. 10 out of 10.
That's a pretty powerful statement, Easton. When people make disagreeing and disliking the same, it's when we fall apart as a society. Wow.
Thank you. You get it. Wow. Thank you so much.
Sometimes we got to just agree to disagree, and we move on, and we're better for it. But everyone's has a right to their own opinion. And what we could say though is that there's no chicanery.
Thank you, Cecilia.
It is what it is.
Well, I think so much of the essence, again, of what we do here is that we try and make, an argument for different perspectives, right? And we, in a sense, are able to demonstrate to an audience that it's okay to have different perspectives, as long as you could make a valid argument for it. At the end of the day, I don't have to agree that the Houston Astros is a great team. I could, simply say, I feel sorry for you, John, that you live in that city and go for that team. But I'm not going to, hate you for it, John.
No reason.
It's sad that the New York Knicks never won a a valid title, and it breaks my heart. And I could make an argument for their rise and fall in the 90s, and it could make some people, vomit in their mouths a little bit because they hate the New York Knicks.
So interesting. So interesting you say that, but the Blazers are still going. So I mean,
but it's kind of like, it's funny you bring that up because that series, the Knicks lost to the Rockets. You talk about a game of inches. If Starks gets that shot off at the end, we're talking about a whole different champion. And that's the same thing. It can be on the celebrity grand debate. One argument, one way or the other, is what would put someone over the top.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. That's how it is here, and we love it. We love it here, and we're gonna always put all of you over the top. We thank you very much for everything that you've done. And the Black Box is going to be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are going to see us discuss matches and also discuss more that's coming up. And next Saturday, we have a huge WWE Hall of Famer that you are going to want to be here for, which is going to be amazing. As always, our conversations and celebrity debate are amazing. And we also have an Oscar nominee, multiple-time Golden Globe winner. And that isn't even the half of it, because the show keeps going. We have even more going, and we're going to make this an amazing time. So thank you all for making this the way it is, and you'll get to see more of the Fight for the Foundation. The debut of Lauren, finally we get to see who Lauren is, which I'm excited for.
Woman very important in John Red's life that I also want to, finally see unraveled. And
see unraveled.
And that foundation is so much part of what I am going to carry in my heart. The Mindy, Pinocchio, Ben Davis triangle. Oh, I mean, that's also a nice interlocked story there that's going to be unraveled as well.
And we'll get to see Kelly White send a message to Julie and Pete Sharpie this next week.
Man.
So.
And we all see what Kelly White does with knives. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, and Megan? Yeah, she's going to be discussing her rewrites again, because a lot more is coming down the pike for us. These rewrites are not the end. They just keep going. So, Giselle, where does she figure into this?
I don't know. I think sometimes, is it Giselle or
Kate?
Is it Kate or is it neither? Well,
Either
we'll
way.
find out. Either way.
And Phil, he'll be continuing what he's scheming too.
And we saw from last Saturday, guys, there was a person, an individual that he was talking to, and what his actual objectives are kind of remained a mystery and elusive. So we will be finding out what Phil is planning and plotting as well.
A lot of stuff.
Doesn't
All about the pride and the prize. 21 Hall of Famers, 21 award winner nominees. Hey, man, we really appreciate you spending your Saturday night with us. Until next time, see you.
Have a good night.